Hello and welcome back to SliverStar Arcade and more, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I do not remember what happened in the last episode, because the last episode was recorded on like November 7th of 2022, and then I got a job, and then lost that job again. And it is now, January, oh, it just hit midnight, so it's January 23rd, 2023. So oh, and also, like, the last episode that was uploaded on my channel is still in episode 4 of this game. So yeah, anyways, but I think we last left off on a to be continued. So yeah, let's get into it, and I'm really hoping I can finish this game like this. And I don't want to apologize, it's been super lackluster in terms of videos for you guys. Rabble. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Ah, I forgot everyone's voices. Oh no. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. Oh yeah, the Skull Brothers and Gregson, that's his name, Gregson. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summonation examination? Oh yeah, we're saying that they did steal something. That's what we're saying. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov. I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Cool, blimey. Oh, wait, no. Oh, what was that? What was that? This is gonna be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windy Banks. Well, it was bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, Nash. It was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers. Cool, blimey. On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. Oh, where'd you figure that out? You gotta love the comedy relief characters in this game. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Ah, what was his voice? Wait, no. Give me a second. Alright, let's give this a shot. Each lie that you pass your lips, I can't talk today. I also destroyed the hell out of my tongue. Eating too many chips. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. You really gotta stop breaking those glasses, man. That's a little loud in my ears. Oh, well, that's why it's at full volume for me. There we go. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Governor. Will blab, will squeak, will peach. Okay, now it's too quiet. Witness testimony. Illegal entry, the whole truth. Alright, we did knock a few things over. We weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Lummy, it didn't have to give me a fright. We was thinking the shoe would come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windybank's countertop on the night in question.
Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash. That's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah.
Man, Zeke's ain't having none of your shit.
Sorry.
By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess.
The way you say it, we'd hardly sound like rogues at all.
Or roughs at all.
We don't, Nash. We don't. Can't you make us sound a bit more cutthroat?
It can't just be a coincidence that these men showed up at Windybank's last night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Hey Gregson, how you doing? Cross-examination. Alright, time to press everything. Oh. Thankfully they have it displayed there in the bottom corner, because I forgot all the controls to this.
Hold it!
If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place?
Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. Yeah.
Well said, Ringo, me old China. We'd only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble.
That's rotten luck.
Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the courts. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right? More like we tidied up the place.
Deja vu.
Okay, sorry.
Hold it! The gunshot. I am recording, right? Okay, good. So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much, you knocked all those things off the counter?
Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves need to learn to keep his shirt on. Look, it was loud, right? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up to that bang.
Big brother screamed like a bloomin' baby and fell over the counter. Wait, he's the older brother? Huh. Wait, are these supposed to be like a reference on the Mario Brothers? You know, short guy wearing kind of red and a tall lanky guy wearing some kind of green. Huh.
He knocked over a load of books, candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette. When knocked over a picture frame, when knocked them scales on the floor.
You've really mastered working quietly then.
What a racket. Granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that.
So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. I mean, it was quite as a mouse. And then all of a sudden, bam!
Excuse me!
Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? No. Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. I remember his voice fine. No, something to add about their testimony. You seemed to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it, only... Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? I love his song. His song's like the best. As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now.
Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. Can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas?
If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them.
Easy, easy. We'll get it right this time.
That's it, yep, it's all coming back to me now. I'm just gonna give them like Mario Brother voices. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs.
Right you are, Gov.
Wait, no. That's a spicy meatball.
Hey, Luigi. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." That's alright, Mario. The bloke would hold the placeholder to a gun, so we would have just fired instead of yelling at that girl.
Oh, should've. That's Mama I actually own those on DVD, and I recently got a DVD player for Christmas. Well, a portable DVD player, which you can hook up to a TV, which is awesome. So I've actually been watching those, and yeah, so I watched the Super Mario 3 cartoon when I was younger, but I never watched, I never watched, what's it called? The Super Mario Bros. Super Show, the one with the live action. But now I have them on DVD, so I'm gonna... So I've watched a few now. Anyways. Heard a voice calling out, "Give me that gun."
Hold it!
I forgot this wasn't testimony, I can actually press this stuff. So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously.
We did, Gov, we did. Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all.
That's funny, because... Oh, that's a nice detail. Because he's so short, the thing that lets you, like, go side to side has to lift up so it's not covering his eyes.
If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun. Oh.
Kinda thing.
A career in acting tragically missed.
And where were the voices coming from, could you tell? Oh, whoops, wrong voice.
Of course we could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voices you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank?
On me granny's life, of course it was.
On his granny life, of course it was.
So, that would mean
that you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice? So that would mean, what?
What, Nash? What? Any ideas?
Oh wait, why did he get southern all of a sudden? Yes, Counsel, indeed it would.
Nah, we didn't know the geezer. Or am I supposed to deny when that bloke in all fancy clubbins gives us the evil eye?
If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
Oh, on the granny's life it is.
Oh, on his granny's life it must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead.
To summarize, then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
You make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tied up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it. The bloke what owned the place was old in a gun, so should have just fired instead of yelling at him. So you're saying that Mr. Windybank had a gun in his hands? Oh yeah, but that was a sight, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other must have gotten pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot." Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keep, he'd rarely put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone, being himself of course. Good grief! Extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the pussy was going to beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. Bet he wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun." And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot. It was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed. I forgot about their. These guys are adorable. Then we heard the sound of someone in the deck. Before everything went dead quiet. After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place up. Lummy didn't have to give a fright. We was come and get us next. Hold it! So you didn't try to open the storeroom then? The storeroom door then? Not on your life. It went definitely quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, door was locked, weren't it? No way that was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside. Or so we've been led to believe. It was, Gov, it was. From the inside. I just realized my water's missing. Oh well. Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps? Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. We had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day, we'll really cut the mustard. Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. She looks so... I forgot, she looks so tiny in this. Like, here she looks like... Isn't she supposed... Wait a minute, isn't she supposed to be like... Yeah, 17. She looks like she's 11 in this picture. Wait a minute, I just... Oh yeah, that's right. Susan's not with us anymore. Oh shit, Holmes is still in the hospital, isn't he? Man, I've forgotten so much. I need to stop saying that I like characters. I still find it crazy that this guy is younger than this man. Alright, wait. Okay, I feel like I'm missing something. Oh wow, we have a full row of stuff. Single bullet wound. No signs of other trauma. Wait. What's this?
There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well, look. Ministry Mole, classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice.
For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of the world news.
It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they're being intercepted by hostile nations.
Communications are being intercepted, but how would somebody be doing that?
That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far.
Are you looking for a new career, Reno? No, of course not. I wonder, perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday.
Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Gregory running from pillar to post at the moment.
Oh, shoot. We probably weren't supposed to find that until much later. How did I not find that before? Unconscious with the gun. Gian was there, unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom?
That's right, Gov. That's right. Good enough, even if we wanted to.
We stuck everything back where we found it.
Hold it!
It's gotta be so. I gotta press him. Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, yeah, we was a bit hasty there. We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Good advice, miss. Good advice.
Truth be told, me mind went totally blank.
Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but patiently we looked. Partly we looked dodgy to the coppers or some that. So they clapped the darbies on us like we could.
And after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Well, yeah.
But listen, that proves it, don't it, eh?
We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had a chance, did we?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that?
Eh? What? Well, 'cause it's true, isn't it? The place was totally empty when we went in.
At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these 2 witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windybank. Correct?
You've got it, mister.
Yay!
Down to a T.
So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony?
What is it, Runo? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired.
Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh, but I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. It is nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all. I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice saying, "Give me that gun." Look. Wait. Where is the... Uh... Is it this? He wasn't the one holding the gun.
Objection!
It was the girl. It was Gina. Yours? Oh, yes, I'm finally getting back in the groove of this game. So excited to be playing this again. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
That's it, Gov. You've got the picture. Yes, Nash. Yes, no question.
And yet, the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
Objection! You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology or chronologically is severely lacking, counsel.
Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl, eh?
Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Ugh. Continue with the cross-examination, counsel, and heed my earlier warning, witnesses.
A skulkin's never skulkin'.
Okay. Okay, so then what am I missing? Okay, alright, let's take a look at the evidence. There's the cat. Okay, this probably has nothing to do with it. Wasn't there something taken? Gun blind. Oh, we never actually got around to inspecting the gun, did we? This is Mr. Windybank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty.
Mr. Windybank always used to keep this gun to hand on his shop counter.
Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand.
That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe.
Because one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? Okay, what about is this also the barrel? Yep. Anything on the bottom? Okay, so nothing to look at with this gun. What about this gun? Oh, whoops. So, there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 chambers.
Yes, which tells us that only a single shot had been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we'd walked in through Windy Bank's door.
I'll make those brothers pay.
Anything else about the gun? I mean, it's a nice gun. I like its design. You have to pop 2 prints in here, start with. Oh, I haven't seen this yet. And then when you look through the eyepiece, you can see the image in 3 dimensions.
The important thing is to get the right position of the 2 prints.
I don't know who came up with the idea of the stereoscope, but it's really quite fascinating. Ooh, look at that! It's totally changed shape, just from the little button press.
Well, that's what the button's for, Runo. You're just like Hurley. You boys love pressing buttons, don't you? Especially if you don't know what they do.
Us boys? Says the 10-year-old girl.
Anyway, now you can see that it really is a stereoscope, can't you?
You have to pop 2 prints in here to start with. And then when you look through the eyepiece, you can see the dimensions. So wait, can we actually use this? Because I have a hunch on something. Okay, no. Okay, wait, is there something missing? Let's see. The book's there, the letters at the bottom are there.
Hold it!
Man, I'm actually really lost on this one. Did I? Alright, maybe I'll get another hint. I would like some herbal tea. Okay, so that was no help at all.
Hold it!
Give me that gun. Like, the only thing I can find wrong is this, but...
Hold it!
Come on, come on, come on. Think. Think. More or less same thing. Alright, I'm gonna pause it until I can figure this out. I can't remember if we've read this or not, so I'm gonna read it again.
Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. How awful for Ginny, I mean.
But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Divers Dauntless Do-Gooder, right?
Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger.
Bigger? How?
Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial.
Perhaps. Protects planet?
Ooh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great.
Okay. So... that doesn't help. Wait, what? I thought their bodies were in the opposite positions. Did I forget it that bad? I always thought it was the other way around. Oh, wow, you can see... if you look at the little preview thing, you can actually see that the stuff from the stereoscope shifts ever so slightly. Wait, what else is shifting in there? That, and... oh, thank you, stereoscope. Okay, I'm going to save. And try something crazy. We stuck everything back. Did you, though?
Objection!
Alright. I thought the lamp being broken might have been... Oh wow, that loaded quick. What other evidence do we have? I guess we can try this.
Objection!
That wasn't it either. Okay, look, I know this could technically be cheating, but I don't care, alright? Like, if we played by the game's actual rules, we'd have 10 game overs.
Objection!
Okay. Ugh, I don't like this. And of course, someone's probably screaming at me. Someone's probably screaming at their screen right now, saying like, "It's so obvious." I am very upset that I had to look this up. Alright, because I don't like having to look up stuff in games, but I only have so much time. I can't sit here and button mash through every single possible option. And what pisses me off, the guy that I looked up, I can't remember his name, but it was a YouTube channel, even he got this by mistake, because he misclicked. So apparently, the bloke would fire the gun. Apparently, you're supposed to present this.
Objection!
So let's see what kind of bullshit Ace Attorney logic they're going to pull to show that this was the piece of evidence I needed. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You've got the picture.
Yes, Nash, yes, no question.
And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description.
You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was I identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand.
Oh wow, I think it's the first time we've seen something like that appear over an image. He's on a box.
Yeah, that Multula used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Like, this stilt.
Like what? Was it the timeline thing? Like the timeline didn't match up, so all of this is bullshit. And I'm mad about it.
Yeah, that Multula used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun.
Was that the hint? Was that thing right there supposed to be the hint? Like, how could, like, because he was shot in the back?
I'm so upset.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there.
Eh?
If the crime had taken place as you've so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Wow, it's almost like that inconsistency could be shown through the autopsy report. You know, let's see, what does the autopsy report say? A single wound from the back. So it's almost like the autopsy report would have made more sense because I presented that on every single option. Inconsistency in foul moments usually. Goodness, are you sure, Counsel? Yes, I'm sure. You intrigue me, my learned friend. Now let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this? Oh, you're going to give me another one of these. Fine then. The autopsy report.
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witness claimed to have heard a gunshot of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. Ah. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Nah. But it's the God's honest truth. It is, Nash, it is. It was shot that night. The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand, and we saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun?
Something like that might have slipped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw, with their own eyes, the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Nash,
How is it that Larry Butts in all three games was less annoying than the last 20 minutes I spent on this game? Oh yeah, that's the thing. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's not going to make into a video. It's just me fumbling around and then saying screw it and having to look it up, which I still hate. Like, I feel so disappointed in myself that I had to look it up. But that's what happens when you have a game that's made so terribly. Order. I'm tired. Witnesses, explain yourselves at once.
well, the thing is, we weren't supposed to,
It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the deaf of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see, we, Cut it out, Nash, cut it out. We blood now. You know what'll do it to us.
He? What are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
Yeah. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But have our guts forgot it.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. Did they have witness protection back then? On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Well, Do we have to?
On pain of death, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Oh my god, there's more!
Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and we have to sign no relief when the geezer showed up. His mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. What's with the music? Why is it more intense? For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and they legged it through that door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. So you straight up tried to rob him. So now you're telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah. Sorry.
Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for.
This episode is going to run so long. Good God. Encounter with the victim. Alright, so we just got inside gaff, sigh of relief, and the geezer showed his mug.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windybank? Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right. We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was going to come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom. Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place it could have been.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premise.
Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windybank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the accused at that time? What? That Maltola? Couldn't tell ya. No way, Kaba. We had a bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Give me that gun, he bellowed, then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had
Hold
it.
it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah.
Was the victim Mr. Windybank wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey, lummy, a great ugly belly-eyed, point straight at me frosty piece. Or frontsy piece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with the gun at the time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is, spot on. Then all of a sudden, he came at us, he did. It was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we had it, I mean. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. Yes, I know that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a load of books, candlestick, and some skull whatnot. that got tangled in some marionette, one knocked over a picture frame, one knocked over them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter. Well, Big Bruv went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell ya. Then the old geezer pinned him. He did, Nash, he did. If he hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, when the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Windybank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
I pulled me gun on him and then legged it for the front door, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank?
No, never. I was just, you know.
Looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes.
And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed the gun at him. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shoved himself in. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true.
I wonder why Mr. Windybank ran away into the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Jeannie was in there waiting for him, with a gun.
Yes, that's right. Ginny allegedly used Mr. Windybank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is, me and me bruv here. That's right, Nash. That's right. Me and me bruv here. Never had nothing to do with killing him. That's what happened, I swear. You say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all. Nothing, governor, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was, from the inside. We know it was, because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch.
So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Ugh. Ick.
It would appear so.
What say you to that, counsel? I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windybank? Okay, time to save. Again. I'm gonna say yes, just based off context clues. I actually have no clue. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Yeah? What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did?
What is your point, my learned friend?
The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windybank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all.
You have my attention. In that case, let's return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts, so pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, You must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums. 2, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? Indeed. Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord.
Are you alright, Runo?
I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the question posed by his lordship. Okay. Here.
Take that!
The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Here.
Take that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windybag died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. Sorry, I can't stop yawning. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. If Mr. Windybank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh, I was just saying that the little slot, you know, he just opened it and put the gun through. Or even just opened it and shot through the hole. We have to assume the door was open at the time. Oh! Your toupee, man. You gotta put... It was at precisely that moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. I kinda don't think they did it.
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial?
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Of course, he would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body at an upward trajectory. Oh, I was just thinking that the shorter guy shot him.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windybank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room? Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock?
But no, Gina was in there.
What if someone else locked the door?
Yes, there's someone else who could have locked the storeroom door.
Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom, in which case, who should unlock the door from the inside? This is simple. Gina.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I am inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel? There was a crazed gunman who just killed someone? Yes, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course Gina would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does?
Well, if I was Gina in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh, yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at the time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what have we to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
I see where you're going with this.
Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. You shouldn't have said that. Why did you say that? Now the prosecution is going to say there was only one bullet fired from the gun. Which means, which was it? Did we shoot Mr. Windybank or did we shoot Sherlock Holmes? You've talked yourself into a corner. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. Where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest.
That was amazing, Runo. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
I know. First time ever, and probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have to give a verdict of not...
An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? Oh god, here it comes. He's laughing? You find the situation amusing, Lord Von Zieks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. I just realized, I think he has a sword on him. I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatant malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. Because you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failings? I say, Lord Von Zieks, might be an idea to explain this bully conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets!
Oh dear. He noticed then.
Huh? What's everyone talking about? How did we end up with the dumbest student from Japan? Like, honestly, like, Ryonosuke probably should have been the one to die. Because Kazuma would have had this handled, no problem. What's everyone talking about? Counsel.
Yes, sir.
Tell the court, how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime?
Two bullets.
Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back and in his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Erlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes.
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness, I think you'll find
That if a single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means...
Windybank not shot by the same gun. Stop.
Only one bullet. Stop.
Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was nothing more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny.
Ah!
Order, order, order. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dredge of this hollow nectar into the public gallery, Lord Von Zeeks. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbroker on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc.
I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGillard's down to the yard, thank you very much.
No, don't. Don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. What just happened to my voice there? It like stopped going high.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Fine, do whatever you want. Fine then.
I'm trying to... Yes, the music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's... Lord Von Zeeks, Inspector Gregson?
What?
Yes, Inspector.
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Von Zeeks at all.
I am unaware of any such meeting.
But those were the instructions, right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, bailiff.
A metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. On the reverse side is a note that reads, "For McGilded."
The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Can we wrap this up? This episode's getting long. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decision and rest my case.
Hey, because he said he rests his case, that means I get to keep talking and he can't say anything, right? Right? That's how that works? I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once. For all of 5 minutes.
Oh, dear. It wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo.
My lord!
Wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer's bally obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it.
Oh, no.
Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
The doctor used his head because his gloves need to remain sterile.
We have a consensus among the juror, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. How dare he use it against us?
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summonation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Garradib Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions, which we will do in the next episode, because this is a long episode. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. I kind of wish my first episode back from a few months hiatus would have been a bit better. I'm still a little upset, but hey, we're going to keep going. Alright, so, as always, thank you so much for watching. So as always, stay safe, have fun, and have a great day.